theme of this quarter's meeting is peaceful and credible elections for national renaissance. Was carefully chosen, and a lot of people made comments about 2023 elections as a make or break elections for Nigeria. And I don't believe in that. I refuse totally to believe in that. It's just an election that people will go out, cast their votes in peace, and then whoever emerges the winner, as Almighty Allah decided, will be the leader of this country, leader of the states where we all come from. So I don't believe it's a make or break elections. And we must not play into the hands of those enemies of Nigeria who keep on parading or bringing such issues as this is the election that will decide the fate of this country. Only Allah decides the fate of this country and any other country. Let's not play into their hands. Let us go out, campaign peacefully, and whenever the elections come up, we elect whom we think is best for us, and we leave the rest to Almighty Allah. Because those countries that keep on saying all these things have their own very serious problems. Nobody will believe what happened in last year's election in US could happen. When the capital itself, the seat of democracy, was, you know what happened. I don't want to go back to that, but you know what happened. So many other countries in Europe too have their serious problems. And I have said it so many times at so many fora, we know we have our own problems in Nigeria, but we are much, much better off than so many other countries in Europe. So let's stop copying what Europeans do, what Americans do, what Asians do. Let's look at our own homegrown issues that will make this country better. I was in Maiduguri about 10 days ago, and I gave a lecture on leadership and looking inwards in our own indigenous ways of crafting a leadership that we believe we need. And I think it's been on the social media for a long time, the last 9-10 days. And for Nirec, I think even the Executive Secretary has sent a whole paper to you. You must have read it. And I brought some of these issues about these European countries that we think they are better than us, but they are not. But their systems work to some extent. So if we make our systems work, we'll be better off too, because they know what we have. They know what Almighty Allah has given us in this country. How many of our doctors are in other foreign countries? How many engineers, scientists, whatever it is? Go to US, NASA. How many Nigerians are in NASA? And these are some of the things that we need to look into. If we can have a good system that will bring these people to some extent, come and say one or two things and do one or two things, I believe we'll be much, much better off. So let's not just bring down our country by saying that we are not bad. We can be bad, yes, but we can be better than we are now. And I think that's what we must always talk to ourselves when we're discussing this project Nigeria. If we are not convinced, if we are not steadfast, if we are not positive, we can never achieve anything. We can sit and talk from now till God's kingdom come, and nothing will come out of it. We have to be committed, we have to be serious, we have to be honest with ourselves in whatever we say, in whatever we do. So I think having our problems has told us what we need to do. So like we keep on saying, once you know you have a problem, you have half of the solution. Second half is for you to get up and find how and why you should do A, B, C, D, and that's just it. So I would like to once more affirm my belief that Nigeria is much, much better than so many of these countries. The election 2023 is just another exercise that people will go out and vote for whom they want, and at the end of it, INEC will decide or will announce who is the winner. So, what is the role of INEC? What's the role of security agencies? These are the two main stakeholders in any elections. INEC to prepare, security agencies to provide security, because without security you can't even vote. Now, how many INEC officers have been burnt in Southeast? How many? And every day they are burning more and more. Wouldn't that affect elections? We need to ask ourselves. So what are the roles of security agencies? And like you know, the security agencies must be honest, must be impartial. Yesterday, Mr. President was with us in Sokoto, and he came to the palace to pay courtesy call before the commencement of the Chief Army Staff Annual Conference, because they are in Sokoto, the generals there. And he said it openly of his commitment for the peaceful, credible elections in this country. And he kept on saying it, and he directed the military, not just the army, to ensure peaceful elections in this country. Now, if Mr. President has said so, who is the commander-in-chief? Will anybody go around and do otherwise? That's what we need to talk to ourselves. He won't be everywhere. He can't know everything. But who are the eyes and ears of Mr. President? Common people like us, because I'm the senior of the common people. We need to talk to him when things are not going right. We tell him, then if he decides to listen, and that's good. But I believe Mr. President listens. He had given his words to the country, the international communities, of peaceful, credible elections. And I don't think he is going back on those words. And I believe 100% that he meant so. But if other people decide to do one or two things behind his back, he's still the commander-in-chief, still the president. He will still be held accountable by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he is the leader. All of us as leaders will be accountable to Almighty for the leadership Almighty Allah has given us. So we know that. So we believe in Mr. President's words, which were echoed yesterday in Sokoto, echoed here in Abuja too, when he received, I think, one of the ambassadors. So let's have hope. Let's believe in what Mr. President said, because he's our leader, and let's work towards achieving what Mr. President wants for this country. Elections are supposed to bring in new hope. Will 2023 elections bring new hope to this country? Will it? Could it? With foundation based on religious and ethnic propaganda now, can we say we have a leader that is beyond all this? We have to ask ourselves. And I think when we're going to close the session, these are things we need to talk to ourselves. I'm only asking questions. I don't have answers. But these are the things that we see every day on social media. Ethnic bigots, religious high-handedness and whatever. You talk about this, you bring religion. You talk about that, you bring ethnicity. This is the time for this is the time for that. No. Forgetting that Almighty Allah has already destined who is going to be the president of this country even before now. So why are we making so much noise about that when we know we don't have all the answers? Only Almighty has all the answers. He decides what happens. He gives power to whom he wants to. He takes it from you without even warning you. We have seen it so many times, so many places. So why do we come out and say we behave as though we are God? This is the time for this. I must be this, I must be that. No. Let's have fear of Almighty Allah in whatever we do, and have this Nigerian project at the heart of all of us, so that we counsel our followers, we the traditional leaders, we the religious leaders, we counsel our followers so that we do what we believe is best for all of us as one big family with different backgrounds. Because I believe we are one big family. We are all seated here. There's nobody abusing one another. There's nobody fighting one another here. We're all here for one cause, Nigeria, elections 2023. So let's contribute. Because I believe we'll come into discussion segment. We'll hear from you, the floor members, especially those at the back. You have a voice. Because after the SGF's comment, you will leave us, then we'll have all the time to discuss some of these issues. So let's see how we can get out of this negative quagmire that we placed ourselves, and thinking that nothing good comes out from Nigeria. So much has come out of Nigeria and will come out of Nigeria, inshallah. And we believe we should come together. We must come together. Put ethnicity, religious background, problems at the background, and face the reality of life. Whatever we do, we must fear Almighty Allah, because He is going to ask us, and definitely will only answer to him and to him alone. Nobody is there, will be there to help you, because it's like we are writing an exam. If you are given a paper, by the time you start bringing somebody to answer, the invigilator will say you have failed. He will walk you out. Or you are supposed to answer the questions alone. But some of you these days, they do some other, I don't know, and they still pass exams. So as I said, a lot is placed on shoulders of the security agencies and INEC. And we believe they will have the fear of Almighty in discharge of their responsibilities. Because we keep on talking of unity, unity, unity. Yes, we can be united in this country, but you cannot be uniform. I know I'm a Hausa, I'm a Fulani, I'm a Yoruba, I'm Igbo, I'm whatever. I dress differently. My co-chairman dresses differently. I'm dressed the way I am. We are not uniform, but we are united in whatever we're doing. So we can be united, but not be uniform. So somebody said it this morning, I think it was the secretary, that we need to be all united and this thing. Yes, we can be united, but we cannot all be the same. Once we have identified our differences, we can work together. We can work better because we know who we are. And like the famous saying that when Ahmadu Bello and was it Zik or Awolo, the one they used to say that they were discussing at their political level, he said, Ahmadu Bello, let's forget about differences. He said, no, let's understand our differences. And we keep on saying, yes, let's understand. And I keep on saying, let's not tolerate one another. Let's understand one another. If you tolerate me, there's nothing you can do to me. I am Sultan, I am President of the Supreme Council, I am this, I am that. What you can do to me? But if you understand who I am and understand who you are, we work together with respect. And that's what we always call upon all of us to be. Let's be united. Let's work towards a common cause. God doesn't make mistakes by bringing us together as one family. And definitely He will help us if we rise up and take our cries to Him and to Him alone. Yes, we do things negatively, but let's always ask Almighty Allah to forgive us. I would like to thank all of you once more. I will thank the SGF. I will thank the President also for staying the course, staying put on what you have been saying about peaceful, credible elections, because all of us have a role to play as religious leaders, as traditional leaders, as even leaders in our various homes. We have roles to play, because what you tell your children when they do go out to vote will determine how they are going to vote. If you allow your child to be used by politicians as hooligans, when he is killed, you are the loser, not the politician. And some years back, we even published a small booklet, who are the victims. If you check the victims of all these political killings and maiming and whatever, they are children of the poor and downtrodden. Not our children. Our children won't go out there. The children of Bishop Adegbite just came in from Lagos won't be there. They are at home, well protected. The children of SGF are in fact heavily protected with security everywhere. When they are going to school, they have escorts. Go back, Kabani. They have escorts. But the children of the common man, they are the ones who will go and wait at the bus stop, jump into any available bus and go to school. When they come late, what happens? They are flogged. But they are not flogged the child of a big man. These are realities of life. So let's talk to our children. Don't get involved in all this. If any politician tells you, oh, yeah, come, I'll give you so and so, bring your children, let them lead, and I'll follow. So I'd like to recognize James is here. He is going to talk to us because we are very concerned about people living with disabilities and also the senior citizens. And later on, we will hear from them. And we thank you for coming. We pray to Almighty Allah to continue to protect our country, protect our leaders, and guide them aright. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.